Talk to us about today's moves and the volatility pickup, 2.5 points or so on the VIX.
Yeah, you know, what we see today was one of those, we had news out of Hong Kong, which led to the foreign markets, which led to our markets, and then the Goldman Sachs and the Bank of America news just really gave this market no oxygen to breathe today. A very light day in terms of economic data. That being said, from Tuesday morning on, the economic data and the earnings really start to pick up some steam here. So we should see a couple reasons maybe to start nibbling on this market for sure.
Kevin, when you do look at the calendar for the week in terms of data, what is the most important to you?
Well, if you're looking for the headline stuff, obviously CPI tomorrow morning and then retail sales on Thursday. If you're a macro geek like I am, I love the NFIB small business and industrial production. Those four names over the next 3 days, those will give us a lot to chew on and a lot to look at for the overall health of the small business, which, as you know, is such a big part of this economy.
Kevin, when do you think we start to see valuation support in equity markets as the discount rate declines?
Great question, Wilfred. And, you know, what we see and what we look at when you see a 10-year go to 164 like it is now, what you see, what you have right now as we speak, 24 of the 30 Dow industrial stocks now have a higher dividend yield than the 10-year. That's the situation where you have to start, even if you're heavily influenced by bonds, you have to start looking at some of these industrials and the Dow names that have these impressive dividend yields. This is what lower yields lead to. They lead to stocks looking more attractive.
Did you just mention industrials? What specifically in industrials do you like right now? And I guess given that fact, what is your take on where these trade talks go, near term and long term?
I think the trade talks are something that every U.S. investor has to think of in more long term. I've been saying for months now, I didn't think it was going to be a short-term negotiation. I think it's going to be a very long-term play, especially as we get closer to the election. That being said, I like names. I mean, if you look at something like Boeing that may be starting to work through some of their problems, and then look at 24 of the 30 names have good dividend yields. So we're looking at all those names, good companies with good earnings that have been taken down by this overall market.
Kevin, what have some of your clients been citing as concerns today? Is it the simple factor of yields or some of the wild cards out there in the market like Argentina and Hong Kong?
I just think Hong Kong certainly was the headline. And that they look at, you know, when they wake up in the morning, Wilfred, they look at the futures are down. The futures are down because the foreign markets were all down. And then as this market kind of firmed up down 1%, you saw news from Goldman and Bank of America mid-morning that just didn't give them a real opportunity for buying. What you're looking for now is something to give yourself a reason down 5% off the highs to start nibbling on stocks. Some good economic data tomorrow and the rest of the week, that'll be that impetus.